Local news that matters on Local 22 News.
At this place in history, we're in Groton with Executive Director of the Vermont Historical Society, Steve Perkins. Steve, I'm really intrigued. This monument says we're talking about the Sleeping Sentinel. There has to be a good story there.
You know, Amanda, it's got all the parts of this great 19th century, romantic tale, but it's all true. So William Scott is a young man born on a farm pretty much right here in Groton, and like most young men from Vermont, enlisted in the Union cause for the Civil War in 1861. And he was sent down for the defense of Washington, D.C. Soon after they got there, his company was assigned to guard duty of the Chain Bridge. So there was this big bridge across the Potomac River. And I mean, what we have to remember about with the Civil War is our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., was right on the border of where this war is being fought. And at the time, Virginia was in the Confederacy's hands. Of course, the Battle of Bull Run was lost, and so the Union was reeling. So this was a very important place to have a bridge that needed to be guarded. He had volunteered to do 2 nights of sentry duty in a row because one of his comrades was sick. He ended up falling asleep. But falling asleep at this time, guarding something like this, that was punishable by death. Officers kind of came to his aid and said, we need to do something about this. The military rules were very strict, and it's not like anyone could just pardon him. So ultimately, word got to Abraham Lincoln, the President of the United States, and the President pardoned William Scott. Now, this is early in the war. This obviously becomes a big PR thing. It turned out that they actually marched him out, put the blindfold on him, got ready for the firing squad before the order of pardon was read. Later on, he unfortunately went on to die at the Battle of Lee's Mills, and quite heroically, pulling some of his company members back across the Warwick River. He was shot multiple times and ended up dying later in that day. Now, this created a whole mythology around William Scott, and you got this title, the Sleeping Sentinel. Quickly, you started to get news stories, and even I have an epic poem here by Francis de Haes Janvier. Part of the popular story was that President Lincoln got in his carriage and rushed down to where the execution was to take place and pardoned him himself. And so this finds its way into this poem. Then suddenly was heard the sound of steeds and wheels approach, and rolling through a cloud of dust appeared a stately coach. On past the guards and through the field its rapid course was bent, till halting mid the lines was seen the nation's president. Great rhyming couplets here in this poem, but I encourage our viewers to go look up the poem, read it, it's great. This story was so popular it became a silent film in 1914, so a lot of fame to poor William Scott, who did die heroically during the Civil War. And the state of Vermont dedicated Route 302 as the William Scott Memorial Highway.
At this place in history.